Thank you very much for your time. Please, I wanted to ask you about your work in the United Nations, given that the Credentials Committee has recently postponed the decision on the work. What are you going to focus on?
Thank you. First of all, I would like to welcome this decision of the Credentials Committee that was adopted today by General Assembly. And my main goal is how I can play an important role to contribute to the discussions on Afghanistan at this very critical juncture that the people of Afghanistan really need the support of international community and the United Nations particularly. And I'm very glad and honored to be serving my country in a very difficult time. And my main goal is how I can share and ideas and contribute in the discussions through presenting some practical suggestions on behalf of the people of Afghanistan. As someone who has served in the foreign service, I am very well aware of the needs of my country, the ways how we can contribute in this crisis that's going on in Afghanistan, and hope we can find a long-term sustainable solution for the economic, social, and security and political situation in Afghanistan.
Thank you. And are you in touch at all with the current regime in Afghanistan, and or are they trying to get in contact with you?
No, I'm not in touch, but not only me, most of the Afghan embassies abroad, they are continuing still their services under the name of Islamic Republic of Afghanistan, and that the system that was established in Afghanistan in the past 20 years with the support of international community and the hard work and sacrifices of Afghan professionals. And today we are proud that we are still, despite all challenges that we have faced, we are continuing to service, even some of us voluntarily. We are struggling with financial problems, and we do not receive like salaries or any benefits from the capital. It has been more than a year, or not more than since the collapse of the former government and the enforced takeover of Afghanistan by Taliban. We are representing the people of Afghanistan, the values and the tricolor of Afghanistan and the constitution of Afghanistan. And we don't have any communications, but we are working how we can provide our work on a path that all Afghans, professionals, and those their hands are not stained or tainted with corruption or blood, can take part in a process to form an inclusive system that all Afghans can participate, including women, particularly to serve Afghanistan and help the poor people of Afghanistan that they are really in need of support.
Thank you. And do I understand it well that you sort of coordinate with other still, existing embassies of Afghanistan with the people there regarding your work here in the UN, or do you decide it solely by yourself? Maybe what are your priorities?
No, we have like a council of ambassadors, and we are working together on very critical issues relevant to Afghanistan, and we try to maintain in all issues the impartiality of Afghanistan and see what is best for the people of Afghanistan at this time. And it's not only my decision. It's a decision that is taken after consultation with this council and also with these professional people who are really committed to Afghanistan, and they are not politically affiliated to any party or to any group or to the Taliban, and that's how we work.
Thank you. And what should we expect maybe until the next Credentials Committee meeting? Do you think there will be some meetings on the side in the United Nations, or will it just go until they are meeting again and then they again consider it for
Well, the Credentials Committee is another issue, but what is important at this time is how we can work with the UN, with the United Nations and the member states to to do something tangible for Afghanistan. Especially UN's role is very important. The people of Afghanistan expect the Secretary General of United Nations and also the Security Council and the General Assembly and all those countries that they were involved in Afghanistan for the past 20 years in the reconstruction, nation building, and economic development of Afghanistan to not abandon them. And this is the time that the UN should take bold steps and even should work on a path or on a process that should be led by the United Nations, bring all stakeholders, including the people of Afghanistan, the international partners, donors, regional countries, and regional organizations, including the Taliban, to provide a space that Afghans should set together and start a dialogue and negotiations for a politically settlement solution for Afghanistan, in which that people of Afghanistan can decide about what type of government or system of government they want in future and what type of rights they want, particularly the constitution of Afghanistan and also the elections. The people should have this freedom to elect and also the rule of law. And everybody should be involved in this process because Taliban are not the only group to impose their will or their ruling on the people of Afghanistan. Taliban are one group, like others Afghans, and Afghan people are expecting that they should be involved in any decision making. And we are working with the United Nations, with all member states here, to start a dialogue or a process, even to work on the mandate of UNAMA, to strengthen it, that UNAMA should go beyond the humanitarian assistance and engage politically for an inclusive system of governments that all Afghan citizens, all Afghans, including women, children, and youth, minorities, should their rights should be protected, preserved, and they should be meaningfully engaged and participate in any kind of decisions about their future.
Last question. You mentioned about the comparison with the UN, how it's crucial. How would you evaluate it in comparison to, let's say, a year ago and now? Is it more intense? Would you say it's better? Also with your colleagues, other ambassadors, how do they look at the situation?
Well, our mission in New York is the contact point for all our embassies here and also other embassies of Afghanistan in Geneva and Vienna. We are all working with the UN and particularly here. What we expect from the United Nations is we know that United Nations Security Council, unfortunately, the division among the members of the Security Council and also other international issues, the crisis in Ukraine and economic crisis, unfortunately, have really impacted the other issues, including Afghanistan, and we don't want Afghanistan issue to be sidelined or affected on these issues. And we expect the United Nations, the members of the Security Council, particularly the P5 or permanent members, to act based on the moral responsibility that they have, and also to act based on the United Nations Charter for the welfare of Afghanistan, for the benefit of the Afghan people. The people of Afghanistan have been victim of terrorism, and they are suffering from a long-term war in Afghanistan, over 40 years going on, and they are sick and tired of this situation. They really want long-term peace, sustainable and endurable peace in Afghanistan, and they want to have a functional and inclusive, a democratic government, and live in peace and prosperity within Afghanistan with our neighbors, without any intervention, without any interference, and free from drugs, free from terrorism, and a country that we used to be in the past, and we want that one. That's the main wish of Afghan people, and hopefully that the United Nations can act based on those principles and cohesively and in a uniform way take a decision about Afghanistan and address the situation of Afghanistan and the ongoing crisis in my country.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.